Um, Tiffany, do you have the option to share your screen? Because I don't believe it looks like I have it on my little bar underneath here.
Let me see. Oh, I do have it as an option. Let me see.
I just
So
got
it looks
promoted
like
to a panelist.
for some reason I'm a host or a co-host. Let's see. Huh.
Okay, I just got promoted to a panelist. So
There you go. Now you're in.
There you are. I can see you.
Yes. Wonderful. And let's see. And I have the ability to share my screen. So this is wonderful.
Erica, is Alex O'Neill somebody we should make a panelist also?
No, I don't think he needs to be a panelist.
Okay.
Alex is here for just to observe the entrance conference, so as a learning opportunity. So, yes. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try to get this started here. All right, can everybody see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Wonderful.
All righty. Okay, I will start then. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us today. Sorry again for the little delay, but we can kick off the entrance conference for South Whidbey School District. So I'm Tiffany Anderson, and I am the audit lead. And joining me today is Erica Davies. She's the audit supervisor. And we also have Alex O'Neill sitting in and observing the presentation today. And we value and appreciate your participation in this meeting. So Dan, would you do the honors of introducing everyone in attendance today?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I'll start right above me with Brooke Williford, who is our board chairman. And then we have Dr. Joe Moshe, superintendent. And we have Christy McCarroll, I believe is on here also.
Perfect.
So that's who we have from the district.
Thank you so much, Dan. All right, and before we get started, we provided you all with a packet of information to go along with this presentation. We do not plan to speak from the packet, but we will reference where you can locate the information being shared. With that, let's begin. So the Office of the Washington State Auditor is tasked with being the auditor of all public funds. As such, we are responsible for auditing all state and local governments. Our office has approximately 400 professionals located around the state and conducts over 2,600 audits each year. On this slide, you will see the various types of audits we conduct, with accountability, financial, and federal audits representing the audits we conduct most. For the district, we will be conducting 2 of these main types of audits, and in the next slides, we will further discuss these audit types in more detail. Our financial statement audit will cover the period of September 1st, 2021 through August 31st, 2022. The objective of a financial statement audit is to issue an opinion as to whether the financial statements presented for audit are fairly stated and materially corrected. Our audits are conducted in accordance with government auditing standards. Those standards require that we take a look at the district's internal control process to prepare the financial statements. Should we become aware of any issues with your process that could or did allow misstatements to occur, we are required to alert you to this matter during our audit. Lastly, we will also remain alert to any identified instances of noncompliance that could impact the information presented in the financial statements, and we will bring these to your attention if identified. At the end of our engagement, we will issue a financial statement audit report to the district in accordance with regulatory basis of accounting. This report will detail the opinion being issued, the results of our consideration of the district's internal controls and compliance, as well as a full set of the audited financial statements. We also plan to conduct a federal grant compliance or single audit for the period of September 1st, 2021 through August 31st, 2022. The objective of this audit is to determine whether the district materially complied with the requirements of receiving federal funding. Upon completion of this audit, we will issue an opinion on the district's compliance with federal grant requirements. An unmodified opinion is what you want to receive and provides assurance that the funds are expended in accordance with their intended purpose and all requirements have been largely followed. Please note that these results will be published in a combined report with our financial statement audit. Additionally, our audits are conducted in accordance with uniform guidance. Those standards require that we gain an understanding of the district's internal control process to ensure federal grant requirements are followed. Should we identify a weakness or concern with that process that could or did result in significant noncompliance, we will bring those to your attention. In conducting our federal grant compliance audits, we will select enough federal grant programs for audit to satisfy coverage requirements set forth by federal guidelines. In assessing this requirement, we identified the following specific program for inclusion in our audit. This program represents approximately 41% of the total federal expenditures for 2022. An important part of our office is the continuous communication between our audit staff and yours. There's a number of ways that we strive to stay connected throughout the audit process, of which we have highlighted the key methods for you today, as seen on the screen. Even though all of these communication methods are equally important, we wanted to discuss two of the communication methods that we find most valuable. These two are the weekly status meetings and the exit conference. One of our most important tools for keeping you up to date are weekly status meetings. As their name suggests, this is a recurring meeting with the audit liaison to provide you an overview of the audit. It's a great opportunity to discuss what has been completed, what is still in process or not yet started, and discuss any questions or concerns as they arise in the audit process. Lastly, we are committed to ensuring you have the opportunity to hear directly from us on our results of your audit. We will work with management to schedule an exit conference meeting and invite all governing body members to attend our exit report. Throughout the course of our audit, we may find recommendations that are necessary to bring to your attention. Our office has 3 primary levels of audit recommendations that are used to convey the significance of the audit issues identified. First, audit findings constitute the most significant level of audit recommendations that can be issued. Audit findings are the only level of reporting included in their entirety in our audit report. In addition, if a finding is issued, the district will have the opportunity to provide a response to the finding that will also be published in our report. This is important to help readers not only understand the issue found, but also any information the district wishes to share on the issue itself or its planned course of correction going forward. In addition, please note that certain external standards may require audit issues to be reported as audit findings. These standards are commonly encountered in the financial and federal audit engagements. Management letters are audit recommendations less significant than an audit finding, but still important enough to bring to the attention of the governing body and management in a formal letter. While management letters are not published in their entirety in our audit reports, they are referenced and still constitute a public document. In addition, it is important to address management letters as if they go unresolved, they could be elevated in reporting level to an audit finding in future engagements. Lastly, we have exit items, which constitute our lowest level of written recommendations. Exit items are very normal in the audit process and are often referred to as housekeeping items, as they address best practice items or minor noncompliance matters. We will provide a full list of exit items identified to engage to management for their consideration at the end of our engagement. Now I will turn it over to Erica for some important information and closing remarks.
All right. So now that you've heard a little bit about the different audits we're going to perform and kind of our audit process in general, there's just a few other pieces of information that we like to share while we have you all here today. The first one being that our office takes very seriously our commitment to confidential information and safeguarding that information. So if we ever do request anything that has any type of confidential information, especially anything with students, student IDs, and all of that information, we would really like to know to make sure that we can properly safeguard that. We have a secure share site that we use that has all the necessary security measures embedded in that so that we can transmit those files safely and keep those safely. Next, the audit costs. We've provided an estimate for audit costs in that packet of information that Tiffany sent to you earlier today. That packet has the dollar amount for what we estimate our costs to be, and we will keep Dan in the loop of whether we are on track with our budget or not, which we fully intend to be. Next item here, just to touch on briefly, we do have a formal audit dispute process that is outlined on our website. Should we ever be able to not come to an agreement on anything that comes up during the course of the audit, there is that option for the district to take. However, we definitely have a great working relationship with the district, and we have, a full confidence that we'd be able to resolve those by talking amongst ourselves. So don't anticipate needing that to be used. And then just lastly here, a reminder that there is a state law that requires all local and state governments to submit to our office anytime there's a known or suspected loss of public funds. Our office recently got a little bit more leeway or authorization from the legislature to be able to more carefully define what the types of losses that need to be reported are. Previously, the RCW said any and all potential losses, but now we've been able to actually further define that to hopefully take out some of the administrative burden for our entities, so that things that are just really, really, really minor or have, zero impact or employee involvement, those types of things don't need to be reported. So we've actually developed a policy that is now on our website. If you go to that page on our website where you would go and submit a loss, you can see our policy that kind of more clearly defines the types of things that need to be submitted now. So hopefully that helps on your end of things. And unfortunately, we are in an era where we're still seeing cybersecurity threats at a lot of our different entities. So just wanted to take a moment here to expand a little bit on reporting cybersecurity issues. So first is just a reminder that if you ever do have a security incident that affects more than 500 Washington residents, this is required to be reported to the AG's office. And then if the cybersecurity incident has any type of financial tie to it, regardless of any of the number of parties affected, that would also be one of those items that would be required to be submitted to our office. And you can go to these links here to get more information on both of those topics. Next here, we always just like to remind all of our clients that we also undergo audit. We're not just the person who is, doing audits without going unchecked ourselves. So we are part of a national peer review program where every 3 years, members of other national state auditors' offices come to our office and does a thorough examination to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do. And in our most recent peer review, we did get the highest rating, which is called a pass. So just like to mention that whenever we have the opportunity. Lastly here, to conclude our presentation, I'll go through just really quickly some different resources that are available to the district. So we have a couple of our teams that are specifically dedicated to helping improve governments. The first one is the local government support team, and they run things such as our online filing tool, which the district submits their CFA through this tool. And then they also run things such as our client help desk. So if there's any questions that the district has over the course of the year, you can submit those to our office, and those go right to kind of a subject matter expert, and then provide you with a written response. And so it's really great to take advantage of these types of resources. They're completely free. So no additional charge to the district or anything like that. And then the Center for Government Innovation is another team that we have, and they are more focused on process improvements and kind of best practices, because they are able to kind of go out and see across the state what things are really working well, what things are not working so well, and they develop these handy little guides or checklists or just different resources that we're able to put out on our website to hopefully help our governments in any way that we can. So an example of some of these types of resources that the center puts out, I don't know if you're familiar with any of these at all, but these different guides, so like the payroll guide, the segregation of duties guide, buying and bidding guide, and then also along the same theme with cybersecurity, we've put out a lot of resources lately addressing the risks with cybersecurity and how to best mitigate those at your government. So these are just the types of things that the Center for Government Innovation kind of puts out and are available to you whenever you would like to check those out. Lastly here, we just wanted to mention a few other resources. So the first one being our Audit Connection. This usually comes out like twice a year, and it is just a great way to stay up to date with things that are going on in our office, things that we're seeing kind of statewide emerging that may be areas of risk, or just different things about our operations. So in the packet, we've included the Audit Connection from September 2022, which is our most recent one. It includes some information about the new Secure Share file sharing tool that we're using, the SAO Secure Share, as well as highlight some of those guides, the payroll best practice guide and the credit card best practice guide that the center has produced. And then lastly, here is a new resource. It's called Trust But Verify. It's a really cool resource though, because it's specifically geared for elected officials, and pointing out different things that they can do in their position, kind of as the overarching authority for the government, and kind of that role that they would play in helping to prevent and detect fraud. So it goes over a bunch of different types of employee fraud that we've seen across many different types of governments, not just school districts, but things to be aware of. So those red flags, things to be paying attention to, and then also tips for just preventing, detecting, and responding to fraud. So that's a really good one to take a look at. It's the last item that's attached in your packet. But if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, it is one that we're kind of recommending whenever we get the chance to present to boards, is to take a look at this resource. So, and with that, that is pretty much all that we had for you as far as an entrance conference. I'm very excited to be back at the district working with you all again. And I know Tiffany, this is her first time working at the district, but she's very excited as well. We're off and running, and we, are on track and everything, and look forward to meeting with you all again at the exit conference in a few weeks or so. Does anybody have any questions for us while we are here that we can answer?
Not a question, but I do appreciate the Watchman reference there. Who audits the auditors? Vis auditori, something like that.
Yes.
So you mentioned a few weeks for the exit conference. Is that what is that reality? Like the end of April, you think, or?
Yeah, it's a pretty quick audit because we're only doing financial and federal this year. So you get no accountability, and we just have one grant that we need to do. So it should be relatively a quick audit process. So Tiffany's already kind of well underway with the grant and the financial statement work. And so hopefully we'll be kind of wrapping that field work up in the next couple weeks, and then, you know, about a week or so of maybe some concluding and wrap up time. So yeah, I would definitely say, you know, end of April would be a good gauge for that.
Good. Thank you.
Of course. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank
Anything
you all.
else you need from us, or?
Nope, that is it. We will let you get along with your day. Thank you so much, and good to see you all again.
Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everyone.
And Brooke, I'll see you on the other side.